Joe right now is playing well for us, and you know, Joe's. You know, we're really pleased with him, but we threw Morgan in there some last week. You know, just subbed him in. He was one of the few guys we subbed early. You know, with our ones, and he did a nice job. You know, he's a guy I have a lot of confidence in. And again, same thing, just going to get better and better and better because he cares. I mean, it's very important to Frew to be a great player, and he comes out there and competes every single day. He wants to beat Joe out. And so that's the type of competition that you want, and because it makes Joe better. Joe brings a sense of urgency to practice, and he's another guy that I'm really proud of because he's stepped up and is trying to be a leader for us as well. So you know, after 2 games, he's done a good job. He did have a bust last week on the 1 sack. We had a same thing, a miss. It wasn't a physical error; it was just a mental error. And, you know, we turned a guy loose. And so and it was on a draw. You know, it goes down as a sack, but it was actually a draw. But Joe's doing a good job. But we'll continue to play through as needed.
How about at the linebacker? We're talking about depth again.
Yeah.
Any of those guys behind BJ and Ben that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, Kendall and Jalen are just – green and coming. I mean, it's just they just got to grow up. We're same thing. They've gotten a lot of good experience these first couple games. I really felt like Kendall last week played well. It didn't seem too fast for him last week. You know, and he's still kind of working his way back into, you know, being really full tilt where he's 100% confident in what he's doing because he did miss some practice time. But we're excited about, you know, those guys right there. JD and Judah are still learning. You know, they don't get as many reps because we only rep 2 groups, so we have to kind of, you know, they got to kind of, you know, mentally learn, you know, because they don't get quite as many physical reps. But those first 4 guys inside, we feel like, you know, we can win with in some fashion. Right now, there's a big drop-off, as there should be. You're talking about a 5th-year senior in BJ and a true junior that's played a lot of football and has started games in Ben Boulware. So there's just a drop-off there. You know, we signed those guys because we really like their talent. And you know, like I said many times, we were that close to playing Kendall last year. And then Jalen's just getting better. I mean, he's a true freshman out there, and you know, they're going to continue to improve. So the same thing. The game is getting slower to them, you know, as they have played and as they go through more practice and meetings. And but they're not to the level, you know, where those first 2. We don't have the situation that we had last year where we take Tony out and here comes Ben, you know, where we take Stefan out and put BJ inside or slide Ben over and you know whatever. We just don't have that situation this year. I mean, that's just college football. Guys have to leave, and you got to go recruit, and then you got to coach those guys up. So, but I'll tell you this: they're gonna be good players at some point. But you know, when you have, it's the same thing at receiver. You know, I mean, Mike Williams and Sharon Peak are mentally better than Deion Kane. You know, they should be. You know, these are really talented guys that have played a lot of ball. I mean, Deion is a great. He's a unbelievable talent that's going to be a heck of a player this year. But he's just getting better. You know, he's getting playing a little bit, learn. You know, yeah, he can't jump offside, can't have penalties. You know, it's important that we go 4 steps, not 2. You know, it's just coaching. It's just coaching. And some positions you have more experience depth than others. Just like in our secondary. I mean, we got a lot of depth and talent and experience back there, but at linebacker this year, that's just the hand we got. Brent knows what he's doing, and he's recruited well at that position, and you know, we just got to coach him up.
Close is Kelly Bryant now to being the number 2 quarterback?
He's improved a tremendous amount. I mean, there's no question. I mean, we're all excited about him. You know, coming into camp, he you know, based on where we were this spring, really a long way away from being really in that conversation. But I really feel like he's really closed the gap and has improved. and it's really not anything. Nick is doing Nick right now gives us the best chance to win, and we're all confident, very confident in Nick, very, very confident in him. And the reason we're confident is because we're practice every day, and we watch the tape, and we know what he knows, and we've watched him execute, and we've watched him, day in and day out. And he's done some good things in the game. He's had a couple moments, but he's with all the twos, and the play calling at the time's not quite the same, and the 2 interceptions he's had. The first one, we got a sprint out, we get a complete bust by our running back. Now, poor 2 hands on. You shouldn't have had 1 hand on the ball, and then we get a right read last week. We got the little drive route coming. Offensive lineman doesn't get the guy's hands down. Ball it's fixing to be a big play. And so we have to evaluate what's the decision making, those type of things, and mentally he is right there where he needs to be. I mean, he's not Deshaun Watson, and things have to change a little bit, but we can win with Nick, and there's not anybody in this staff room that doesn't believe that. Same thing for him. He's not a guy that's played a lot, so he's got to go out there and get some experience, and so we've been able to coach him, and then with Kelly, this is a guy that has incredible potential. I mean, he's probably got as much potential as Deshaun, but he's just learning every day, and you want to make sure that you give him a chance to be successful. Has a bright future for us, and with the experience he's got through camp and the opportunity to get in some games, he has really made huge improvement, and we all feel like that. Hopefully by the end of the year, this is a guy that is just like we hope as we're going into next year. We have built some depth and some experience and some competition at the position, and he certainly has the talent to do that.
Anybody got anything else?
Coach, I got one question. How hard is it? Everybody thought Louisville was going to be 1-1 coming in. They're 0-2. How hard is it for you and your staff to instill in the players, hey, this is still a good team?
You just watch the tape. It's really easy. I mean, these guys, you turn the tape on and you look at their roster and you look at some of these big grown men they'll get your attention quick. And then they watch the game. They see what happens. I mean, our guys understand football. They understand it's a fine line between winning and losing, a real fine line. It's a play here or there. And then you look at us last year, we didn't score an offensive touchdown against them. And we were knocking on we got no points a couple of times where we're knocking on the door, literally on the goal line. We get a missed assignment on a power play at the end of the game that could have put the game away. We end up having to kick a field goal. We got a first down. We're on the goal line with 17 seconds and no timeouts, and we make a really poor decision and get tackled with the ball in our hands on a sprint out. And don't get to any points. We missed some. We dropped a touchdown pass. I think the second or third play of the game. Mike Williams dropped a huge post over the middle. Perfect throw. Would have put us around the 20-yard line. That we got no points. We had a lot of missed opportunities on these guys. And, our guys, they know that this is a capable bunch. And, again, they lost some good players, but so did we. And when people turn on the film and they go, oh, okay, well, Vic Beasley's gone. But, boy, that number 90's a good player. Oh, man, dang. Corey Crawford and Tavares are gone. Well, that 98's a good player. Stephon Anthony's gone. Whew, that number 10 can play. It's the same thing when you look at Louisville. They got a bunch of good players. They're going to be really good on defense again this year. So, the record has nothing to – past performance has nothing to do with what's going on today. I tell them all the time, yesterday's touchdowns don't win today's game. You better be dialed in. It's hard to win from week in and week out. And if we're going to be great, then we've got to put our best foot forward every single week, regardless of whether we're playing an undefeated team or a team that's had a couple of close losses. You're talking about 2 losses that could have gone either way. That shouldn't change the mindset, whatever. They got really good players, really good players.